Here's a sample of what to expect in our next episode.
I don't know if it was just by accident or if it was deliberately done, like almost sabotaging our economy in a way.
Right. Well, again, remember my first rule in observation in government: the best and brightest are not in government. And Tim Walz
Right.
certainly shows us that. And rule number 2 is, if anytime you think it's conspiracy or ineptitude, it's ineptitude every time. See rule number 1. So, I think for those who have the ability to take advantage of feeble-minded people like the governor of Minnesota, they did it intentionally, of course. They took what was documented at one point of $9 billion in fraud. I think that number has gone up since now.
It's closer to 20 now.
20 billion. Okay. And just to put that in perspective, I saw recently, because we have carrier groups in the Mediterranean. We're looking at attacking Iraq and shutting down their nuclear program,
Iran.
Or Iran, I'm sorry. 601.
Don't give me a flashback.
Again, that's dating myself. It's like, okay. But with Iran, we have to make sure they don't have nuclear weapons, and we're going to shut down that system. I get it. I agree. So we have carrier groups there. And I saw on the news that it costs $7 million a day for us to have a carrier group in the Mediterranean. That's a remarkable amount of money. And so I put pencil to paper and I said, I wonder how that compares. We could really only keep the carrier group there 3.5 years before we spent the same amount of money of the fraud that Minnesota came up with.
Wow.
3.5 years of a carrier group sitting in the Mediterranean just gets us to the $9 billion. Well, now it's $20 billion. I calculated it at 9. Now we're looking at 7 years. You could keep it there to match the fraud that Minnesota has lost.
And I love that perspective because it really puts it into the perspective of what's happening in this country.
Right.
And Minnesota is just the tip of the iceberg. You've got all the mortgage fraud that's going on in California, and God only knows what other states are doing.
Right. And as we saw in Minnesota, a lot of this money was going to groups that were then funneling it back to politicians or funneling it back to political action groups, the foundations, as it were, the ones that are politically active. I mean, if they're doing that in Minnesota, you can imagine what's going on in New York and California and other Democrat controlled states. It always frustrates me when I see that. It also frustrates me that Republicans just haven't done it better. It's like if you're gonna get that kind of fraud going, then Republicans should do it better, which would be a great way to stop it.
Exactly. I was going to say that. The moment Republicans start doing it, then it'll stop.
Exactly.
Then because the Democrats will make sure we hang for these kinds of violations.
Absolutely.
If you're a Democrat, you can get away with any kind of violations of law.
Clearly.
But if a Republican tries to do it, holy cow, they're going to hang us from a light post.
Right. No question.
No, I'm glad you said that because that is the way it is these days.
Yep. It's been that way for some time, actually, but certainly it's these days.
I want you, need you to know.